Hi guys, let's roll. This is a fish and chips article. That's why I've got that background image. Saturday night fish and chips, lashings of salt and vinegar dripping out of the bag. Did fish and chips taste better wrapped in newspaper? I think so. I do know one thing. Back in the day you could afford to go to the fish and chip shop. Now it costs a small fortune. Without giving my age, I'll tell you how much I used to pay for fish and chips as a boy on a Saturday night when me and my friends would go to the cinema. We had a cinema even in Blaina back then. We haven't got a cinema anymore. We haven't got nothing anymore. Anyhow, it used to cost 4 pence, 4 old pence. We had pounds, shillings and pence then, real money. 4 pence for a small bag of chips and 6 pence for a big bag of chips. 4 pence was enough. 6 pence was enough. One more potato than a pig, in fact. So 6 pence, that was half a shilling. A shilling, new money would be 5 pence. Okay? So that's how cheap it was to buy a bag of chips. Fish was much cheaper then. Haddock was a cheap fish. Cod was cod. But fish were much cheaper then. But of course, back in those days, we had fishing fleets all around the country. I went into Aberdeen on fishery protection years later, before they got rid of the fishing fleet. Incredible sight. Went back years later, no fishing fleet. Sad. Anyhow, so fish and chips in a newspaper. Thing was, after you ate the fish and your chips out of the paper, which tasted much better in my opinion, you just threw the newspaper away. Into a bin, of course. Much better for recycling as well than all these polystyrene containers they come in now. Anyhow, so what are we talking about today? Let's have a look. We're going to be talking about Ukraine and the New World Order. Let's call them the New World Order, the global elite, top of the pyramid. They're still trying to sell the people that Ukraine is winning the war that they started against Russia. Let's have a look. What's this headline? In a poll carried out by them, 75% of Ukrainians oppose Donbass withdrawal. Well, yeah, but we've seen the videos, haven't we, of parents and husbands in Ukraine calling for an end to war. This is suppressed by the Western media and the media in Ukraine. Anyhow, let's see what Europe is saying. Europe must be ready for war with Russia, says Romania's president in rare warning. Yeah, they starting to get us prepped for war. Prepared to defend itself. There's nothing to defend itself against. Russia doesn't want war. The globalists and the deep state need war to survive. But let's just check, is Ukraine still winning the war? Trap Russian troops in Kupiansk. Yeah, I don't think that's really the case, but we'll let them go with it. Ukraine isn't winning the war. Ukraine lost the war the day it started it by trying to carry out ethnic cleansing in East Donbass. That was the day they lost the war. Let's have a look here. Yeah, I've monitored Russian soldiers for 3.5 years. The system is finally cracking. Single finding drawn from our team's 3.5 year monitoring of Russian military communities. Yeah, The Russian army is no longer fighting from conviction, not according to the evidence I've seen. If anything, it's the Ukrainians. Ukrainians who were dragged off the streets of Kiev. What's this, Kiev? It's Kiev, yeah. Given a gun, taken to the front line, dropped off with a pile of ammunition and virtually forgotten about, which is why they surrender at the first opportunity they get. Not because they're cowards, they just want to survive. Yeah, but that doesn't matter. Even if they stop a couple of bullets from the Russians, they delay in the end, only by minutes. What does US NATO have to say? Protection for Ukraine amid peace talks? Yeah. It's not a question of peace talks now, it's a question of negotiating NATO's surrender. Ukraine might be the one at the table that signs the papers, but the one who really surrenders, if they do, is NATO. It will be their surrender. Anything else, sir? Can you see anything? No. European leaders then. European leaders expected to cement support for Ukraine amid US pressure to accept deal. And here we get into it, guys. America wants peace. Russia wants peace. The globalists, the pyramid, they want the war to continue. Yeah. European leaders are expected to cement support for Ukraine Mondays as it faces Washington's pressure to swiftly accept a US brokered peace deal. Yeah. They want this war to go on, and they need to drag America into it. Zelensky sat down Sunday with Trump's special envoy, Steve Witkoff, and Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner. Steve Witkoff is a Jew, Trump's son-in-law is a Jew, Zelensky is a Jew. How nice. Perhaps 3 Jews sitting down together can make peace. Who can tell? Early in the day, Zelensky voiced readiness to drop his country's bid to join NATO. You've got no say in it, my penis piano playing friend. You've got no say in it. I should imagine round about now Zelensky is wondering how he's going to survive the next few years, where he's going to go and hide with his money. All that money's going to help isn't going to help you, Zelensky, because people are going to want payback, aren't they? Some people in your own country have lost too much because of you. Then again, there are a few fanatics who will want to fight on and say you should have fought to the last Ukrainian. Well, we shall see. Let's see what else is going on. A Ukrainian drone attack kills 2 in Russia as millions in Ukraine lose power. Yeah, Merry Christmas. They're all freezing their cotton socks off. Yeah. Millions in Ukraine lose power. And they sent a drone attack, and well, they managed to kill 2 people, so I suppose that was a bit of a win. And let's keep going. Guys, as I said, this is a fish and chip shop video. 430,000 still without power in Odessa region. If Ukraine doesn't buck its ideas up, they're going to lose just more than the Donbass. They're going to lose Odessa as well. They should make peace while they've got the chance. Perhaps if they'd abided by Minsk 1 and Minsk 2, they wouldn't have lost 20% of their country. Yeah. Just reading this, guys. I guess you can read as well. Okay, well, we're almost done. And what did Britain learn about this? What Britain failed to fully understand after training 60,000 Ukrainian troops. 60,000 Ukrainian troops lasts about 60,000, just under a year. It took the Russians to kill that many. I think it's about 2 million dead now, isn't there? What lessons British forces are absorbing from Ukrainian soldiers, how they are learning them, and what this reveals about the structure of the UK's industrial base. Yeah. How was this war in Ukraine benefiting the people of Britain? Well, British military personnel are learning from the armed forces of Ukraine. And here's the kicker. Here's the money shot. At the same time, the need to manufacture weapons from Ukraine is helping to stimulate the recovery of the UK's industrial base. Let's read that again. The need to manufacture weapons for Ukraine is helping to stimulate the recovery of the UK's industrial base. That's great, isn't it? Imagine doing a job where you're making something that depends on someone dying for you to receive wages. Yeah. Same in America. All those arms dealers making billions while millions die. Right. I wonder what we got over here. How does France feel about war? Let's ask them, is that?
The European Union clearly wants to push us towards something very serious. Look at what the NATO Secretary General said yesterday. We must prepare for a war of the same scale as our grandparents and great-grandparents lived through, meaning the world wars. Except that the Third World War would be thermonuclear, meaning with at least 500 million deaths. Is that what we truly want, or do we just want to resume a somewhat normal and calm dialogue with a country called Russia?
Paris witnessed a powerful show of public anger as thousands of demonstrators poured into the streets for a national march for peace. The rally.
Well, that's good, isn't it? That's nice. That's what France thinks of the war with Europe. Um, was it in France the other day? Yeah, one of their politicians said that the people of France must be prepared to sacrifice their sons in defense of democracy. I think she actually said must die. Yeah. They never send their children, do they? No. Anyhow, let's see what Germany thinks, is it?
You think, summing this all up, I'm going to keep paying taxes into this? You think I will stand by and pretend it's all noble? You think I let my kids grow up here in the middle of a geopolitical suicide? This is insane. Absolutely not. And if you look at these things combined, it's so obviously, painfully obvious where the path is heading and leading us. This is, without exaggeration, one of the most important videos in my Why I'm Leaving Germany series. Maybe the most important video. And I didn't include it in my earlier videos for one reason. Because this topic is too heavy, too big, too brutally honest, and it deserves its own stage. So here it is. What I'm going to say now is the real reason why I'm leaving Germany, or one of the most important reasons, not the convenient one, not the polite one, the truth under everything. And if you listen closely, you will understand why I simply cannot and will not raise my children in a country that is sleepwalking into war.
Okay. That's a superb video. You can, it really is a good video. And he's leaving Germany. I'll put a link to his video in the description actually, because if you watch it, he shows all the supporting evidence with how arms manufacturing has been increased in Germany and France and across Europe. How weapons production has been stepped up. They are preparing for war. Anyhow, I think that's just about all I got for you. Shall we have a look at, I know, let's have a look at our channel, is it? Oh, here we are, back on our channel. Do a refresh. 1,000, 412 subscribers, that's up one. What was Para George Hooley doing in Ukraine? 94 views. You know, I can tell whether a video is going to be a success within the first couple of minutes. At this point in time, Para George Hooley dying in Ukraine, I knew in 5 minutes that that wasn't going to be, well, not popular, going to be read. Same with the Conservatives. Do you want fish and chips or bacon sarnies? I spoke about the DUP leader in Ireland, and that was quite popular. I can tell within minutes whether it's going to fly or not. It's a pity because they were good videos. Oh well, nothing I can do. You can lead an horse to water, but you can't make it drink. I'm grateful just really for the subscribers and to get the news out to maybe a few of you that take the time to read it. So that's that. There's the subscribers. Any more news? Warning to the British people, what is coming is still going strong. Couple of subscribers. Yeah. Okay guys, that's all I've got for you. You've been listening to Paul Morris, The Green Arrow. You can throw this newspaper wrapping away now if you wish.